Well, here we go, everybody. Another dance for Independence Day. July 3rd, one day before the 4th of July here for the US of A. It's episode number 161 of Material Issues. I'm Mark Hershberger of Pop Detective Records. I'm over here in South Jersey. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous early evening. Joining me as always from the other side of the US of A, it's middle of the afternoon for him in Southern California, the president of the International Pop Overthrow Festival, my good buddy in the bowler, Mr. David Bash. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, Mark, how are you? I hope you're having a good 4th of July week.
Yeah, this is great. The weather's been absolutely beautiful. I think it may turn for the worse tomorrow night, but for now, it's absolutely gorgeous. High 80s, no humidity, a little bit of a breeze. Ches has been loving it. We've been out in and out all day long, playing with doggies and having a great time. So it's great. It's been a lot of fun. What's going on for your fourth?
Probably nothing much. Just hanging out. Maybe I'll go up to Bakersfield, which is 100 miles north of here. It's where my sister and her husband live, as well as my dad. So maybe on Saturday or so we'll come visit.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
I've got no real holiday plans. I'm gonna bartend Saturday night and do my shtick, but nothing else really going on except being quiet.
Yeah. All right, well, that's good. I think uneventful holidays are quite nice, actually.
Yeah, indeed. I don't need to be doing anything to be happy. I just hang out with some music, some books, Ches, run around talking to neighbors, dogs, things like that. And there's a lot of, we got stuff coming up here on the show to talk about, but there's a lot of great new music out. I was just perusing the Cool Cat website and picking up some stuff, including something you'll play a little bit later on with Telejet. You talked about last episode with Internet There. What a great album that one is.
It really is.
Highly recommend that.
There have been a lot of really good ones this year. My top 10, if I were to make it now, would be probably almost as strong as most year-end top 10s, and we still have 5 months to go. No, 6 months. No, we're basically at the halfway point. So
we're at the midway point. So there's been a lot of great stuff.
A lot left. Yeah.
Wow, they're really good.
So yeah, this year has gotten off to a great start musically. The IPO CD is off to a great start as well. The artwork and the tracks have been sent into the manufacturer. We will have them ready to go for IPOLA, the 25th annual IPOLA, starting on August 2nd, going through the 10th at Redwood Bar, where we've done it in LA for the past few years. So really looking forward to that. There are going to be some great reunion shows on for that IPO. But you've seen the CD cover, I think, and it looks awesome. And I will be posting some tracks on the IPO website fairly soon. I'll make an announcement about that. But a lot of really amazing tracks on it as well. But one thing that I'm very relieved about is that the 2 boxes of records / books from Stockholm have finally arrived.
Oh, look at that.
Big thank you to Trevor Gallant of Beluga Records for who you know. Obviously, you guys have some artists in common on your label, on your labels. And Trevor went the extra mile to pick up the boxes that had been returned and then to send them via UPS, which is what I should have done in the first place. I'm never using the post office again. UPS, he sent them. Good evening, Tim.
Hey,
not
Tim.
only was it way cheaper than the post office, but it got here a lot quicker than even if things had gone through correctly.
Wow.
So it was, it got here actually within about 2 days.
And it wasn't worse for wear? It wasn't banged around at all, or it was okay?
Not that I can see, no. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to, because I don't even remember half of what's in here. So I'm going to reveal to myself and everyone else what was in the big record box. That's
Here we
right.
go.
So
always like to reveal what's in that big box.
and only fair to start with some Beluga releases.
Nice. Okay.
Which I had gotten from Trevor right at the end of IPO Stockholm. Actually, let me expand my screen here. Here we've got a Speedways release called Triple Platinum, which I think are demos from the band. I don't believe these have been on CD. And Trevor's a good friend. Trevor Gallant of Beluga is a very good friend of the band and has released their stuff on vinyl. And this is the brand new release of the Speedways. Great power pop band from the UK. They do go up to Spain quite a bit. They may have a member that's from Spain. I think they do, but they go up there a lot. And hopefully one day they'll play IPO LA. Not LA. Well, yeah, sure. But IPO Liverpool. So that was in. Something you might be a little familiar with.
Oh, yeah, the Yum Yums. Nice, yeah.
Nice. Popping Up Again, which they sold to me. This is on Screaming Apple, actually.
Right, yeah.
But I bought it from the Beluga website. Popping Up Again. Is this a reissue of something you put out, or is it
no? This is that's a relatively what's new. It's different stuff, yeah. But they've been going with Screaming Apple out of Germany for.
Oh, so this is a new album, actually.
Relatively new. I think it might be 2023. I don't know what the date on that is.
I don't recall. Well, I don't see it here, but I don't recall it having come out.
Popping Up Again. Let me just double check.
Natalie Sweet is on the cover, and she's relatively recent. So this may be a pretty recent album. But if it's never come out before, I'm counting it as a 2024.
I just want to. It's April of 2024. So it's because it's out on Rumbar as well.
No, it is on CD as well. Okay. I'll have to pick that up.
Yeah. That was going to be my other question. You've been picking up a lot of vinyl lately. We don't see as much CDs coming across your desk, and No,
there have been plenty of CDs. Believe me.
I know there have been, but are you
more about the vinyl? I guess because
have you been kind of getting that nostalgic bent and holding those nice big 12-inch vinyls?
Very much so, and that's part of why I'm going to show the a lot of these are reissues that were in the spot. So let's go. Let's see what we have next. Someone we had on Material.
Oh, yeah.
Tony Hazard sings Tony Hazard. He was known as a songwriter primarily in the late 60s, but he did something that Graham Gouldman also did. Finally recorded the songs he'd given away to other people.
Right. Yeah.
So Listen to Me, which the Hollies did, that's on here. It's funny. There's tracks called Hello, It's Me and Fox on the Run, neither of which
are the ones we know.
Are the ones, they just happen to be title those things. Hello World, which he gave to the Tremolos. Ha Ha Said the Clown, which he gave to Manfred Mann.
Right.
Fade Away Maureen, which Cherry Smash turned into a big garage classic. So, but these are all the versions that he recorded and sang, and it's on You Are the Cosmos, which is a really great label out of
Great
state.
label. I mean, Tony Hazard has just written so many great songs for other people. It's quite amazing. And as you said, he was a guest of ours over 2 years ago on Material Issues. So
very nice man.
If you missed that one, check out the archives. That was a great interview as well.
It was great. He's a really nice guy, and he played IPO Liverpool one year, and it was just lovely.
Nice.
Let's see what else we got here. Spyro Gyra. Not the fusion band from the late 70s, not at all. This one's spelled with an I instead of a Y, and it's really kind of Canterbury folk rock. It's beautiful. The lead singer, well, they had a couple. Barbara Gaskin, who ultimately joined up with the other Dave Stewart to do. Dave Stewart and Barbara Gaskin had a #1 hit in the UK with their version of "It's My Party."
Okay,
and
all right.
Also recorded tons of other covers and originals. I love their version of the Locomotion. It's probably my favorite one.
All right.
And yeah, they did Rose Girl the Globe by XTC, and they put their own spin on it. But anyway, this was the band that she was in early on, Spyro Gyra, early 70s. Also, Martin Cockerham, who wrote most of the stuff. He actually played IPO Liverpool one year.
Wow.
He's a very old hippie. That's all I'll say about that. He almost kind of didn't even know where he was, but he still put on it was a very heartfelt performance. I loved it.
I mean, how many bands could be named Spyro Gyra, even if you'd have different spellings? How many can there be?
Right? If anyone out there knows what the significance of that is, maybe it's from a movie, a book. Usually, if I don't know what a band name is or a title of an album, I assume it's from a movie or a book, and more often than not, that's what it is. Let's see what else we got. Oh, beautiful reissue of the second Trogs album, From Nowhere, which has one of my favorite Trog songs on it, Jingle Jangle, which is nothing like Wild Thing. It's what the title would suggest. So this has actually 20 tracks on it. There's a bunch of bonus tracks as well. It's on the French label Klimt, K-L-I-M-P. Yeah.
Wait, 20 tracks?
$300.
20 tracks? Is that a double album, or they fit in 10 on each side?
They fit it all on. I mean, these tracks are all 2.5 minutes, so they they fit them all 10 on each side.
Wow.
So this is a really beautiful reissue, so I had to get it. Let's see what else. Oh, another Spyro Gyra album.
That's different from the other Spyro Gyra album.
Wuthering Gay, who has a few members of Fairport Convention.
Oh wow! Okay.
This is a gatefold reissue of their debut album. I haven't opened it yet, but I'm sure it's beautiful. And
nice.
So they had a minor hit in the UK with Gordon Lightfoot's "The Way I Feel." They turned it into sort of an expanded arrangement. You know, Gordon's was more stripped down as stuff it was early on, but this is more lush and lots of vocals. Really great album from the early 70s. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, this isn't even a reissue. This is the second album by, hey Kelly, wow, great to see you here. Kelly Knapp, who played IPO Boston.
Nice.
Awesome musician, singer-songwriter. Reminds me a lot of, her sound is a lot like Juice Newton's, actually.
Oh, wow. Nice. Oh, nice to see you, Kelly.
More rock and roll. So she's great. So this is actually an original pressing of Junior Campbell's second album, Junior Campbell being in Marmalade, and also in Rockin' Horse, which on Think Like a Kid, which we talked about a few weeks ago when Roger Uday was on. So yeah, there is a connection. Wow, I thought I only had reissues in this box, but obviously not. It turns out that I'm totally wrong. The band Sailor, who had a bunch of big hits in the late 70s in the UK, they had an album after they left. No, I guess they stayed on Epic. This is is this Canadian? No, it's a UK copy of what I think is their best album, Dress for Drowning. They changed some of their members and they changed their sound completely to something almost, well, it's very pop, but it's almost Broadway-ish in a way, but in a really, really good way. This album is definitely in my top 100 of all time, and it has not been reissued on CD. And I saw a UK pressing of it. I've only had the US. I thought, why not? It was probably about $2. So
right, yeah.
Oh, there's more stuff that isn't reissued. I really forgot. Bruce Chanel, who of course had the big hit in the early 60s with Hey Baby.
Hey, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Like a lot of those kind of guys, like Bobby V and Del Shannon, they made it until the late 60s and they changed their style a little bit with the times. I mean, Del Shannon did a wonderful job in the late 60s with that unreleased album called Home and Away, which ultimately came out. Bruce Chanel, he's got the hippie chain on here. He's got the Nehru jacket. And so his sound is a little bit hip. It's not. It's pretty decent album. I wouldn't say it's great, but it's good if you like late 60s pop. I'd never seen it before, actually. And I don't know if it even came out in the US, but it's on Bell Records in the UK. And
okay. I thought I could see the Bell logo in the corner. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this one ended up costing me maybe about $15, or maybe a little less. But definitely, I've never seen it. So, okay, this we don't necessarily need to talk about. It's my porn album. I don't want to talk. P.P. Arnold, an American who went over to the UK in the late 60s.
Yeah.
And made a bit of a headway. I think this is her debut album, The First Lady, which is just reissued on Charlie Records this year. She had a hit with The First Cut is the Deepest, Cat Stevens song.
Right.
And that's on here. A few Treat Me Like a Lady instead of Treat Her Like a Lady. Different song, of course. Life is But Nothing, which is a song written by Skinner Rose that Twice as Much did. And I wonder if the Stones did it too. I don't remember. But anyway, a bunch of some originals, a bunch of covers, just really good late 60s soulful pop. She's excellent.
Can I ask a quick question? Have you upgraded your turntable yet? Or are you still planning on doing that?
I need to do that soon.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure I do the right thing. Unlike watches, which, I don't have to be extremely particular about. The turntable's got to be exactly right. Mm-hmm. And I've been looking around. I'm still trying to decide: do I go new? Do I go used? So there's a lot of factors. But yeah,
sure, there is. Yeah,
plan to do that. Not that there's anything wrong with my Project 3, but this is a new album, so I should have probably thought about playing a track from it, but that's okay. Band called Mansfield from Denmark, from Copenhagen. They played IPO, Liverpool, and Copenhagen for all the right reasons. Brand new album, kind of like if Oasis was a little bit poppier.
Right, yeah.
Christian Stage, the lead singer, definitely has a Gallagher edge to his voice, but a little softer. And the songs are a bit softer than Oasis. And the one that's on the IPO CD called Chasing After You, I heard it when they played in Liverpool, and I said, Christian, I need that song for the album, for the IPO CD. And thankfully, we got it. So this just came out. I think they self-released it. I had him contact Cool Cat to see if a CD version can come out. So let's hope it does. But in the meantime, the vinyl is available, and I would highly recommend it.
Cool. Wow.
Oh, this is a nice one. The band Kaleidoscope, the UK Kaleidoscope, with their debut album Tangerine Dream, which has been reissued quite a bit, but this is a brand new one. And first official vinyl reissue, it says. Fully endorsed by the band. That would be Peter Daltrey mainly. No relation to Roger that I'm aware of. But this is just, this is just really perfect psych pop. What can I say? I mean, it's a lovely album. And Peter Daltrey is still active on Facebook. I was hoping he was going to play IPO Liverpool with one of the other bands. I think it was the No Escape, because their main guy, Mark Northern, knows him well, but that didn't quite work out. But in the meantime, there's this nice reissue on, it's Universal Kaleidoscope Sound. So yes, it's endorsed by the band. And let's see, is it on colored vinyl?
I was going to say
Splatter Color Vinyl, everyone.
Got to be on Splatter with a name like Kaleidoscope, right?
Yeah, of course. A guy who did play IPO Liverpool, Nick Gary, who originally released this album in the late 90s, The Nightmare of J.B. Stanislaus, which was just reissued on Tapete Records. I don't know exactly. Really good pop psych album. He's still got it. He's older, obviously, but he can still perform. And he played a lovely set at the Cavern for us. Nice. So this I don't think this just came out. I think it came out a few years ago, but I hadn't seen it or had it, so I decided to pick that one up. Now this is just the vinyl version of the new Crowded House.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's a
really
fantastic album.
Really is very, very good. Yeah.
Yeah,
You can see I paid a decent amount for it. It was I got it the first day it came out at HMV in Liverpool.
I tell you, yeah, if you're a Crowded House fan, that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good.
See what else we have. Oh, this is something that came out as a record store day release only in the UK. Ripples presents Psychedelic Sunshine Pop from the 60s. And it's got a lot of great acts on here. David Bowie with the Lower Third, Pinkerton's Assorted Colors, Marmalade with their classic I See the Rain, The Bystanders, the Montanas.
Oh, wow.
Factotums, The Flying Machine, Episode 6, The Action, The Other Knack.
Yep.
The Rockenberries, The Ivy League, Dana Gillespie, The Ferris Wheel, all kinds of people, West Coast Consortium, all kinds of cool people on here.
That's a great grab. Yeah,
I really just figured, this is something that will just look really, really great. And there'll be awesome songs on it, too. Here we go.
That's
a
cool.
New reissue of this.
Oh, wow.
Lynn Carey's band, Mama Lion.
You should get Lynn to sign that.
I should. It's a limited edition to 500 copies. Orange vinyl.
Wow.
Let's see. Oh, look at this. You have to open it to get to the cover. Let's put it that way. And we know what the cover.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah.
I got this at Probe Records in Liverpool, which is a really small store. But
that's very cool.
Amazing reissues. I got the Kaleidoscope there too, so they always have amazing reissues there.
I love that one. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that is. And what label was it on? It's on Future Shock Records. Not entirely sure who they are, but it's legit. Look at this. I know you had this, but I didn't have it until I saw it at Rough Trade in Liverpool, which was right around the corner from our hotel. Our guest from a few months ago, Wesley Fuller, sorry, all Fuller, no filler. I finally got the vinyl of it. On
Great.
Cheer Squad. How Rough Trade in Liverpool happened to have it, I don't know. But
man,
yeah,
great, great get.
And
I think you do IPO Liverpool just so you can go record shopping.
No, that's why I do IPO Stockholm.
Oh, Stockholm. Okay. All right.
Yeah. And now Copenhagen too, because I mean, if you saw the video that I posted on Facebook, there was a lot of amazing stuff I got in all those cities, including and Paris as well.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, the new album by The Feeling called San Vito. You may remember The Feeling from the first year I went to Liverpool, did IPO in Liverpool. I was in HMV, I think the day after it was over. And I heard their at the time was their new single. And I just said, who the hell are these guys?
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard more and I said, wow, they sound like 10cc. They got these young kids have these great harmonies. Their debut album is a classic. It's a stone pop classic. The new album is really good as well. It's still a little bit more produced, but not in a bad way. They still got the harmonies. They still got the melodies, just a bit more production.
Right.
And I once I heard the album on Spotify, I had to get both the CD and LP version. So there you have what was in there. Like I said, half of it I didn't even remember. I thought it was all reissues, and I was wrong.
I was going to say, is that just one box?
Well, the other box had the other box had the two Beluga things plus a big book on Per Gessle.
Nice.
All in Swedish, but that's okay. The photos were good, and a bunch of IPO programs. Oh, and by the way, I need to send you the IPO T-shirt I got for you, so that will go.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, nice.
Soon. Another thing I got, and I'm glad I waited on these. And this dovetails nicely with a point. Actually, a bone of contention.
There you go.
Jellyfish listener copies. Now, here's what happened. I missed out on them when they first came out, and everybody's a whole bunch of people snapped them up and immediately put them on eBay and jacked up the prices. Oh, you've got them? Did you get them early? Oh, do you just have? Do you have both?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have spilt milk.
You don't have that yet. Well,
nope.
They were immediately jacked up, put up on eBay. They were going for sick money. Like they listed at $29.99, and before you know it, they were up on eBay and Discogs for like $100. Especially spilt milk, that was in more demand.
Yeah,
it was. I hate people. I mean, I hate when people do that. I shouldn't say I hate the people, although they are assholes. Anyone who buys stuff for the sole express purpose of flipping them for a lot more money, you know, fuck them. Really, these people should be banned from eBay. That's not what it's all about, and they do that with Record Store Day stuff.
Sure, yeah.
That's not the spirit in which Record Store Day is intended. Record Store Day is for people to buy things that they want in their collection for whatever reason. It's not supposed to be for people to buy bulk, put them up on eBay and gouge people. But that's what always happens. And that happened with these as well. I mean, look, one day, there's nothing wrong with after a few years when something becomes collectible, then you put it up on eBay. That's okay. But when things immediately become double or even triple the price of what they listed for a week ago, that's just fucked up.
Well, what gets me is like Record Store Day. Let's just say it's this Friday, just hypothetically.
Right.
You see things on eBay a couple days before Record Store Day, and it's already 3 times the price, and it hasn't happened yet.
Doesn't even happen. Well, yeah, I guess they feel confident. Either they feel confident that they're going to get them, or they had some pipeline. And
right, there's a pipeline, and they know that this is going to be popular, and it's already out there. That's just wrong too.
No, that's also wrong. I mean, that's not what and that wasn't the spirit of these either. The spirit of these were for jellyfish fans and collectors to buy them and to either play the new versions or just store them away because they think that they look beautiful, which they do. I just got them yesterday, so I haven't had a chance to open them and look at the gatefolds, but they're wonderful. And finally, they've come back into print, at least temporarily. So I was able to get them. Well, I got this one from Universal Music for the original list price. This one I got on eBay for only a little more than the original list price. So that's okay. Right. I don't mind when people do that. I mean, they should get some money for their trouble, I suppose. But, again, they were going for like $100 within like a couple of weeks.
It's crazy.
Because they sold out so quickly. And it's like, screw you people. The reason they sold out is because of you people.
Right.
Not just because of the fans. So anyway, I got those.
Good gets. Those are good gets, yeah.
So let's play some stuff.
Let's hear some new things.
A few new releases.
Hey, real quick, just before I play something, because I have to munch on something brand new from Utz.
Ooh, fried dill pickle. Huh?
Fried,
interesting.
Fried dill pickle ripples. Of course, you and I are potato chip.
I love dill pickle chips. The first time I ever had them was in Canada.
Dill pickle from Utz, rippled fried dill pickle. Right here on material.
Go ahead.
Oh,
they're really good.
Mm-hmm. Very dill pickle. I mean,
love that.
Love that. It says on the back. With a straight from the fryer twist, we know you won't be able to resist. I'm not really sure what the straight from the fryer twist is, but this is just all dill pickle. Well, there you go. If you'd like to sponsor us, we love your potato chips.
Yeah. Next time I come back to the East Coast, I'll be picking those up for sure.
Hanover, Pennsylvania. I used to live there. Utz potato chips.
Oh, is that where they are?
Yep, Hanover, Pennsylvania. I used to get up when I first moved there. I'd get up every morning, and I swear someone in the apartment next to me was doing fried eggs because everything it just smelled like fried eggs all the time. So I have to go out and get breakfast every freaking morning. And I finally said to someone after about 2 weeks, "Who the hell's cooking all the fried eggs?" And they said that's not anybody cooking. That's the Utz potato chip factory across the way there. It just smells like people frying eggs all the time. So,
wow,
a little interesting Utz potato chips.
Yeah, Pennsylvania is like the potato chip king. You've got Utz, you've got Hers.
Yep.
Who have pretty amazing ketchup chips.
Oh, you got there's probably there's a lot of even small boutique brands that are all over Pennsylvania. Yeah, out of Pennsylvania. Tons of them. But Hers and Utz being the big ones,
Interesting.
Really good. But those are good. I would give the fried dill pickle a solid 8 out of 10. Yeah. Very good. Yeah, thanks. All right, carry on. I just had to get a little interlude there with.
Please, this show shouldn't be all about me.
Little dill picker into. Oh, well, go ahead. We'll just play some things. I'll talk about something else.
Go ahead. If you've got more to say, let's hear it.
You might have seen my post the other day on getting in a brand new, or relatively new, Sports Illustrated all-time All-Star baseball game.
Game that I used to play in the early 70s.
Updated sheets called All-Stars from the Modern Era.
Nice.
And the modern era, because the original was from all the way back to like 1910 through, whenever the players on there. But this is updated. So the modern era, it only covers players from 1955 to the present, so to speak, stars. So I thought you'd be interested in the New York Yankees sheet, because this, besides including Yogi Berra, now it doesn't have Babe Ruth because he was pre-1955.
He was dead.
You do have Mickey Mantle, but you got Robinson Cano, you got Derek Jeter, Hideki Matsui, who else? Alex Rodriguez, Bernie Williams, Dave Winfield, Paul O'Neill, Mark Texeira. So you got some updated All-Stars on this. But that's the 16 original sheets that they had in the original game, but updated for the modern era. So
one thing I want to ask you, I mean, this was the first game I played regularly because they had it at local toy stores, at toys and game shops. Stratomatic you had to order, and I don't know, I just didn't until later on. But I remember playing that one first. The one flaw that it had, and maybe they've corrected it, is it didn't. The only people who had walks on their card were ones who really walked a fuck of a lot. But guys who walked like a medium amount, or even guys like Babe Ruth who walked a fuck of a lot but was a power hitter, they didn't have the walks on their card. Have they changed that? Does everyone now have the proper number of walks that they should?
I haven't played with these sheets yet because I just got them, but according to everything that I've read from this guy, yes, everything's updated with new data sets, new pitching rules, regulations, a lot of new everything to encompass what the old game was lacking a little bit. So
you're back in the old game. I had all-star teams for each team that went back to actually pre-1900. Donnie Bush, or Donnie Bush, I never know how he pronounced his name. It's probably Donnie. Was a leadoff hitter for the Tigers in the first decade of the 1900s.
Yeah.
He walked a lot, and he had no power. He was a leadoff hitter, and they gave him a bunch of walks. Babe Ruth, meanwhile, didn't get walks on his card. So Babe Ruth walked a normal amount of time, which he should have walked about 150 times a year. And Donnie Bush, or Donnie, walked 110 times a year. So it's like they only paid attention to the leadoff hitters who walked.
Yeah.
It was really, really weird.
Yeah, what I loved about this game was I played it all the time for a couple years, and you could play it yourself. It was fun playing against somebody else, but you could play against yourself essentially.
Yeah,
I remember one year I did like a complete schedule, a complete 162 game schedule just with the 16 sheets that I had. Oh, it was great. It was wonderful because I was a big Pirates fan. Of course, you knew all the names and all the history of everything. So I just
there's one other thing you might remember about that game, and I do. Some of the names were not there.
Right. Yes.
I didn't know why. I thought it was a printing error, but it turned out they didn't get the rights to use.
They didn't get the licensing and the rights.
I remember Jimmy Wynn was a guy who his Astros sheet was all. You knew it was him because of the stats.
Right.
His name was blank.
Yeah.
He's like, what the hell? And that happened with a handful of guys.
Oh, with my original sheets, you could figure out, that was half the fun, was figuring out who was missing, and I just wrote it in
Yeah,
pen.
I did the same thing.
Oh, I loved that game. But he has the guy that made this, Bob Biscontini. He's got another set out, which is the old players as well, but with redone data and stats. I need to get that set. But he had done like an online. He did a computer simulation where all the sheets and everything were online, and you could play it just online. It's not available for anybody like you and I to do. He just did it himself. But I'd love for that to happen. I'd love to be able to play with the sheets online against people. That'd be great.
Sure.
Be awesome. But I had to bring that up.
Speaking of collectibles, I don't remember if we spoke about this. Do you have Netflix?
Yes. Yeah.
Have you seen King of Collectibles? The Kenny Golden the show? I know their headquarters is right near where you live.
2 miles away. Yeah.
So you've seen the show. The second season. The second season just happened.
Yeah.
I'm almost finished with the 8 episodes. I love that show. I've actually friend requested Kenny Golden, and if he does accept, which I don't think he will, but if he does, I would love to have him on the show, as I know you.
Oh will. Yeah, no, yeah, it's an incredible operation, incredible facility, and it's just not. You're watching that show. It's crazy, the kind of money these cards and collectibles go for. Anybody, I'm amazed at the market myself. I just you shake your head. It's hard to believe.
And now they're trying to get into other things like comics.
Yep.
They actually, in one episode, they had supposedly Cleopatra's hand, a mummified hand. Now, of course, the first question is, how the hell can you identify that? Well, there are markers. They know what lineage she had, and they do have mummified hands of people from that lineage. So there's a certain amount of DNA that would be shared. I don't know if they got to the point where they've authenticated the hand yet, but they actually can to at least a reasonable degree of certainty.
Man.
And they figure that's going to be a 7-figure item.
Oh, my Lord. I remember a traveling exhibit that they actually had a Cleopatra like autograph. She had signed her name and whatever the writing was. Of some sort, but they verified it was her. And it was behind all this protective glass, obviously. But how does something like that survive all these years?
How does it survive, and how does it get authenticated?
How do you authenticate something that you have no samples?
Well, again, they had no Cleopatra samples, but they did have her family samples.
Yeah.
There may be other things that she signed, maybe not papers, but did she sign her name on any artifacts of any kind? Maybe. I don't know.
Well, who knows? Collectible urns.
But it was authenticated, is what you're saying.
Yeah, they said it was authentic, and I was just stunned.
That's the biggest thing with autographs and with things that may have belonged. In this case, it really belonged to Cleopatra.
Sure. Yeah.
But that's obviously the trickiest part. And
the hair sample cards we've talked about. There's right. Margaret Hamilton from The Wizard of Oz. That's a hair sample, which is kind of crazy. But
do we know where the hair was from? No, gross. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah,
she was wicked, all right.
Oh, you gotta love it. But yeah,
sorry, people.
The market's crazy for this kind of stuff.
So Golden is now getting into all kinds of different collectibles, which makes the show even better.
Yeah,
so
that's very cool.
I'm hoping that Kenny accepts my friend request. If not him, then maybe somebody from the show. But he's the he's always trying to get the big fish from collectors. He's the big fish. He's the guy.
Right.
All right. Let me play some music here.
Yeah, let's listen to some music.
We lost a few people with the baseball talk, as we usually do. but hopefully they come back because we've got some really cool pop music to play. The first track I want to play is a guy who I initially met in New York. He played IPO there. He now lives in LA, and he will be playing IPO LA next month. He's Ward White, and he has a brand new album on Think Like a Key, Roger Udai's label. We had him on a few when I was in Chicago, so I guess in late April. This album is called Here Come the Dowsers, and Ward White is obviously a big fan of David Bowie. He even kind of looks like him here, facially.
Yeah.
Vocally, he's not really like him. His voice is a higher tenor, but there's clearly a lot of Bowie influence. So I'm going to play the title track right now. Cool. Ward White, Here Comes the Dowsers, from his from the album of the same name. Most of the album is in a similar vein. I love his stuff. I don't know. It's not typical of my taste completely, but there's something about it that resonates with me, and I'm so glad he's going to be playing IPO LA on August 6th at Redwood Bar right before Cliff Hillis.
Oh, nice.
Who's coming out?
Cliff's coming out. Nice.
Yeah, I know. That's really great. we have a few people from back in the day, mostly LA back in the day, for our 25th IPO LA. But Cliff, who came out to play IPO LA early on, decided for the 25th he would come back here. So we're really
very
grateful.
cool. Yeah.
But Ward White doesn't play live very often, so I was really pleased when he accepted my invitation. Had to work on him a little, but I convinced him. So
where's he from?
He's originally from New York, I guess, or I knew him when he was based in New York, but he's lived in LA now for a couple of years. And, but he really doesn't play very often, like I said, so this will be good. Nice. Let's see what's next. Well, a familiar name to a lot of people here, the Well Wishers, the brainchild of Jeff Shelton. It's their 13th album. Wow. Unbelievable. And it's called Just So You Know. And Jeff is not going to reinvent the wheel, but his wheels are definitely fortified with some good pop steel belts, because one thing you can bet on with a Well Wishers album, it's going to have that warm sort of shoes, posies, power pop thing going on, and Jeff's really sweet mid tenor voice. So this just came out. He released it on his music label. That Was My Skull Music. If you're a fan of Fast Times at Ridgemont High, you'll know what That Was My Skull is from. Very funny scene. But here's a song from the new Well Wishers called "Back Down, Son."
Gray skies above me, where do we go from here? It's not unnatural to be so happy when both sides appear. It's all that you got, it's all that you know, it's all that you can control. It's all that you need, an ego to feed, a reason to rock and roll. Hear me now. Don't you turn it down. I got a mind to erase it all when you come around. It's all that you got, it's all that you know, it's all that you can control. It's all that we need, a reason to bleed, an easier game to throw. Hear me now. Back down, son.
Nice.
Very nice. Again, those choruses that he has, they're just so warm and so power pop.
Yeah, really well done.
Yeah. Now Jeff, Jeff Shelton, Well Wishers, you always know what you're getting, but it's always great. It's a slam dunk, always. That album has just come out. nice surprise to me when I was away. I got a Facebook message from Eric Kern from the band Vegas with Randolph, and he said, "We've got a new album, and I want to send it to you." And I said, "Great. I'm not home, but I'll. It'll be a nice surprise when I get back." And he sent me the. I guess he sent me the download, and I remember saying, "This was after all the IPO CD tracks were in, but we still had room for one more." And I said, "Eric, would you like to have a track on this year's IPO CD?" I sent him the details. He said, "Let's go for it."
Cool.
So he sent me this track that I'm about to play. Now, this album is called The Future Store. And what a package it is. That's what she said. No, I mean, seriously, look at this.
That's what you said. No, seriously.
That's not that you don't see this.
Look at that.
Independent release CDs. It's got, it's a 4-panel. It's got a booklet inside, and it's got 21 tracks.
Wow.
Pretty amazing. And this is a really great power pop band as well. And this album is loaded with stuff in that vein. Here's the song that they gave us for the IPO CD. It's called NSA, an acronym for something, I assume. So here we go. Vegas with Randolph from Washington, D.C. with NSA.
Sunny all the time. Since you're in yesterday, the way it's getting easier to find out. Don't mind telling
That rocks.
Yeah, it definitely rocks. I mean, classic power pop with the hooks, the harmonies, the chorus. From Vegas with Randolph, out of Washington, D.C. Their brand new album, The Future Store. 21 tracks on one disc. Buy it. I mean, it's beautiful.
Good stuff.
Of course, most of these bands that I'm speaking of have Bandcamp pages. And of course, so you can sample the wares there and purchase the albums there as well. I'm going to definitely invite Vegas with Randolph to IPO New York. They came up a few years ago to play it, and now that they have a new album, hopefully they'll come back because they're great live too. Regarding the IPO CD, like I said earlier, it will be available absolutely free to all people who pay admission to come to IPO LA while supplies last. We may run out. We probably won't, but last year we really gave away a lot of them, and I hope the same thing happens here. After that, Omnivore, our label, will be releasing the album on September 20th. So they'll probably have some details on their website. I want to thank everybody there, Dutch and Cheryl and Greg and Lee, everyone at Omnivore, for continuing to believe in us. And even though they're really almost all exclusively doing reissues now, this is their way of staying current by releasing the IPO CD. So I'm so grateful to them. So anyway, if you're at IPO LA, you'll get it free. If not, it'll still be a good price for 69 tracks.
Yeah.
So definitely check that out on Omnivore when a little bit before it's released. A new album, another new album. Of course, they all are, so that's redundant. But this one's not played out yet. My good friends, Sparkle Jets UK, their first album in more than 20 years. It's called Box of Letters, and it's mainly songs they recorded over the years since their last album, with a few newly recorded ones, I believe. It actually starts and ends with covers. They start with "This Will Be Our Year," the song, and they end with "Hey Grandma," the Moby Grape cover. So in between, it's all originals, and they're such nice people. I've known them, Mike Simmons, Jamie Knight, Susan West. I've known them for years and years. They're good friends. They were at my wedding, and they're very, very talented artists as well.
Yeah.
So this album is a breath of fresh air. It's on our buddies Big Stir Records, and it will be coming out, I think, in a couple of, like, July 19th, maybe. So check out the Big Stir Bandcamp page or their website and find out about this one. But here's a track that was
I just got the vinyl in. I just got the vinyl.
You just got the vinyl. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful too.
Gorgeous. Yeah.
I don't have it. It's in the other room. But anyway, the most important thing is the music. And here's a track that was on an IPO CD many, many years ago. I don't remember which volume. Might have been like 6 even. It was one of the first songs I think they recorded after they had released their second album. It's called Love Burn. And it just, every time I hear it, I'm reminded of IPO LA back in the day.
Nice.
I can smell the clubs we used. I can see it. I can see the images of them. I can see who was there, the whole thing. So anyway, it's a great track. Love Burn by Sparkle Jets UK here on Material Issues.
Mostly hurts when I bend it. So You know I gotta. You got a little love burn, and it needs some air. Maybe we can get together and get this thing repaired. I got a heart in my song for you tonight. And if we're all really super lucky, it won't see the day of light. I've got a heart in my song for you tonight. And if we're all really supernova lucky, it won't see the day of light. You know I got a little love burn. You know I got a little love burn.
Yeah, great
There you
stuff.
have it. Love Burn by Sparkle Jets, UK.
I love the little touches. I love the little things going on in there. It's
I
great.
know. One thing, those background vocals, those do, that's something that's a lost art. I don't hear it very often with today's power pop acts. I'd like it to come back. It was more of a turn of the millennium thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I love
Sparkle Jets UK, for those of you who don't know, and for those of you who do know, are not from the UK at all. They're from Orange County, California. But they just thought it would be cute to call themselves that. And they have an asterisk between the Sparkle and the Jets as well. New album, Box of Letters on Big Stir. Check it out in a couple of weeks, I believe.
It's wonderful.
And then the final thing is from our an album just came out on our good friend Ray Gianchetti's Cool Cat Music label.
But he's putting out a lot of great stuff, man.
He really is this year. I'd say if I were to do a top 10 now, there would be at least 3 things from Cool Cat on it. But this one is definitely, it's certainly looking like my number one. I mean, it's premature. No premature jokes out of you, Mark.
I didn't say a thing. I like it. I like it a lot too. I like it a lot.
Yeah. This is it used to be called Spiritual Age when it was only on Spotify. For some reason, it's listed as self-titled here. Although if you put it in your CD player, it actually comes up as Spiritual Age. I don't get that. But anyway, this is the first physical release of this album, and thank God for that, because now I can actually rank it, and now people who like physical product can actually have it. This band Telejet is the mastermind of one Gene Hughes from Toronto. They played their first show in a while at IPO Toronto last year. And Gene's quite a character, I'll just say that. But what an ear for melody he has, and the talent to actually create it and let it breathe. This album is wonderful, as I said, very XTC influenced.
Yeah,
that's certainly got it. Andy Partridge, Colin Moulding certainly have to be, and Dave Gregory, who we had on the show, they got to be among his heroes. This is the track that is going to be on the IPO CD. It's the second track on the album. It's called She Speaks Her Mind. And here we go. Telejet from their new self-titled release on Cool Cat Music, and She Speaks Her Mind.
There's someone I know who wears her thoughts upon a sweater, who never misses a chance. She walks the line. She wants the things she says, but see her get in trouble with the tongue every time. Now she speaks her mind, but they say, be careful what you wish for. Someday you'll make it come true. It could happen to you. How can she say half the things she does? other soul. When she speaks her mind, she is the author of her destiny. Be careful what you wish for. They say you'll make it come true. It'll happen to you. Now she's the only testimony to words that haven't yet been spoken. Hear her and see her flow it again. Now she's learned the score. She's heard the story over and over. And now she's fallen silent, won't say a word, no words. She won't speak her mind. She's the author of her destiny. Be careful what you wish for. You're gonna make it come true. Watch it happen to
Yeah.
Great stuff, man. Boy,
I'll
that's good.
tell you, the whole album is wonderful. A lot of
someone I know.
a lot of really nice ballads, which are even more XTC than that song. Like Indian Summer, for example.
I love Indian Summer. Yeah.
That song. I love it too. I didn't want it for the IPO CD because it's too slow. I
Yeah.
would rather have up, and I will. Little bit of a reveal here. She Speaks Her Mind will lead off one of the 3 discs.
Nice.
Because it just goes right into it, no intro, nothing, and it just kicks off the disc so nicely. So anyway, the album is out on Cool Cat. You can pick it up at the Cool Cat website. I think you can pick it up on their Bandcamp now, on the band's Bandcamp. But definitely you should go to Cool Cat anyway.
Yeah, Cool Cat
your
Music,
power pop
all
needs.
K's.
Yeah,
CoolCatMusic.com.
All K's. Yeah, check it out. Just wanted to talk briefly about a couple of reissues.
Yeah, what do you got?
Reissue CDs. We're not going to play anything from them, but I didn't have time to upload anything. But so that's on me. But maybe another time. New demos disc by Badfinger member extraordinaire Tom Evans. This is called "I Am Myself," not "I Am I Said," by Neil Diamond. I never did get all the lyrics of "I Am I Said." I remember the line "Palm trees grow." It should be "Palm trees grow and rents are low." I lived in New York. I didn't know anything about Los Angeles really. I thought he was singing "Palm trees grow in Rensselaer," like Rensselaer was a neighborhood in LA or something. It took me a while to get that one. When I moved out here, it's like, where the hell is Rensselaer anyway?
I gotta look up Rensselaer while I'm out here.
Yeah,
That's funny.
Never could find it. Anyway, never mind. This is called "I Am Myself" demos, 1967 to 1970. Big shout out to Rich Ulua, who put out a few months ago the Pete Ham demos disc, and this is the second in that series. A lot of these are very nascent, but you can definitely hear Tom's sense of melody. So it's really kind of cool. Plus, there are a few early versions of songs that did come out, like Fisherman, which came out on Badfinger's Magic Christian Music, and on the Ivy's album. Actually, it came out on that initially. No Escaping Your Love, which was an Ivy's B-side, the original demo of that. And a whole bunch of other things that I had never heard before. Most of the demos are pretty short, so it's a pretty quick listen, but very well worth it if you're a Badfinger fan. You really can't do without it. So definitely check out. What is the label on here? Y&T Music. But I'm sure if you just if you do a Google search for Tom Evans, I Am Myself, you'll be able to find it up there. So I would, again, any Badfinger fan needs this. And even if you're if you're a late '60s pop fan in general, you definitely want to check this out.
Yeah. Cool.
Here's a band that I've never been able to really categorize effectively. The band Lindisfarne, the UK band Lindisfarne. This is Brand New Day, the Mercury years. So it's their late '70s stuff. In the early '70s, they had several hits in the UK, including Meet Me on the Corner and Lady Eleanor. And I don't know how to describe what they did. It's very pop, but it's also kind of almost like Irish folk. And man, it's so hard to tell, but it's very it's good move. It's good time music. I'll say that much. I really always liked this band a whole lot. And then they came back in the late '70s, got a deal on Mercury, had a pretty big hit called Run for Home. You might remember that one.
No, I don't.
You would if you heard it.
If I heard it, okay.
I'll tell you that. It was a hit. So it's 3 discs here. The first one is live from 1976, where they play a lot of their older stuff. And then their album Back and Forth, which has Run for Home, as well as a whole bunch of bonus tracks. And then their second Mercury album, The News, which I don't remember. I don't think that one was released in the US, and it was very hard to get at the time. So I don't think I got it until much later. Because back then, if it wasn't released in the US, you had to find a store that would bring it in, and they weren't going to bring in one copy. So it was hard to even order imports back then. Anyway, at this point, they become a little bit more pop, a little bit more sort of pop rock, radio-friendly pop rock. But they still have great melodies and harmonies. I would recommend it to any late '70s pop band. I think it's cool stuff. So Lindisfarne, Brand New Day, the Mercury years on Lemon Records, of course, the subsidiary of Cherry Red.
Cherry Red. There you go.
There you have what I'll talk about this week. I mean, there have been so many things that have come out. Oh, speaking of Red, I guess I should mention this one, although most people listening will either already know about it or already have it. The new Red Cross album, which has been dubbed the Red Album, REDD.
Right.
Red Fox, I suppose. Big guppy. Anyway, it's 18 tracks. It's their first album in many, many years. And it's really great. I mean, it's the best thing they've done in years, I think. A nice mixture of pop ballads and their usual sort of, hard rock and power pop.
Yeah.
That they've done for many years. It's actually a double record set on vinyl, but it's one CD. The McDonald brothers, Steve and Jeffrey, they're going to be touring all over the U.S. Thankfully, their LA show is not during IPO, so I'll be able to catch them. And I mean, if you don't already have the Red album and you're a power pop fan, come on, get on it, get out and buy this one. Anyway, that's about it. Do you have other things you want to talk about, or should we do the 4th of July, Stump the Bash, or what do you want to do?
We could do a little Stump the Bash. I've got one quick trivia thing to ask you. It's gonna have people dumping out of here real quick. It is baseball related, but I want to see if you
stay, everyone.
Yeah, just stay.
It's not going to take long, and then we'll get back to music.
Let's see if David, who is a big baseball fan, can tell me quickly what are the 7 ways to get to first base.
Oh, geez, I remember this one, and I always miss some. Single, walk, hit,
or a hit. A hit, yes, a hit is right. A walk is right. Hit by pitch, that's 3 of the 7.
Let's see. There's catcher's interference.
That's 1. Yes, that's 4.
Drop third strike.
That's 5.
With no one on first. If you beat the throw there, you're on. You get on. Oh, geez. Oh, shoot. Oh, error.
Error, exactly. That's 6 out.
Yeah, it's always the 7th one that I don't.
It's the hardest one.
Of course, it's the hardest one. It's the one when you used to play those gas station coin games where you could win money, and there's always the one coin you could never get. You get like 10,000 of each other coin and
Right.
0 of the one you need. Let's see. What is the other way? John Borak, if he's watching, probably knows. I'm not a big rules guy. So
I know.
the fact that I even got 6 of them for me is like, okay, that's not bad.
Well, those are the 6 that when I immediately thought before I looked at all the answers. I got those 6 easily.
Yeah.
The 7th one was tough. Yeah.
Well, let's see. Could it be some sort of obstruction by a fielder if you're running first?
No, but you were a roundabout way there. You did say the right word.
Oh, there's some obstruction.
Nope.
But I thought that the obstruction,
Not-
catcher's interference, was the obstruction I was thinking of. And
No, in that sentence you said one of the words that's part of it, but obstruction is not one of the words. No.
Oh.
Cecil.
Well, something about a fielder, and it's Cecil. Sorry. Unless you were talking to someone wearing a beanie.
Cecil Cooper.
Oh, no, you're right. You got me. You really got me. Both of them played first. So, but
yeah.
well, it has some. I mean, it's not a fielder obstructing the runner's path to first base, because that should. I always thought that. Well, I mean,
that probably technically would probably be correct, but
if he doesn't
it's not
have
part
the
of
ball,
this list. Yeah.
If he doesn't have the ball, especially,
Right. Yeah.
if he's ready to take a throw from a pitcher and he's obstructing the base runner in doing so, I would think.
I think technically you would be correct there, but
So what is the other one? I don't remember.
Fielder's choice.
Oh, well, okay. I suppose.
You hit a ball and they decide to throw it to second to get the force out, and you make it to first.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And it's called a fielder's choice.
No,
yeah.
I definitely know about fielder's choices. But
that's what it would be, fielder's choice. Yeah.
I remember when Ricky Henderson, who's my all-time favorite player, when he was a Yankee, I'm sure this happened on the A's too. Every now and then he would hit like a ball deep in the hole at shortstop. The shortstop would field it, and if there was a guy on first, he would just nip the guy on second, and they would call that a fielder's choice. They don't do that anymore. If it's it's a scorer's decision now, and if they think the runner would have beaten the ball to first, the throw to first, they give him a hit.
Yeah,
which is what they should do. In that particular case, I remember Ricky getting robbed of a few hits that way, but he wouldn't now. Anyway,
it's interesting.
It is. I guess fielder's choice. Why not? I figured it was some obscure rule but no, it's just a fielder's choice. Okay, good.
Anyway,
Stop the bash, stop the bash. Stop the bash, stop the bash.
all right. Well, it's time for the pre-Independence Day, as I call it, Independence Day, and I've got a special Independence Day version of Stump the Bash. It's a little bit different than what we used to play, but what's going to happen here is I'm going to play you, Mr. Bash, a 10-second clip of music. It's the first 10 seconds of a song, and this song was on the chart #1 Billboard during the week of July 4th for a particular year. So for 1 point, you give me the name of the song. For 1 point, you give me the artist. And for 2 points, you tell me what year it was #1 July 4th of. It's not that difficult. It's a fun.
It doesn't sound it, but it should be fun.
It's a fun Independence Day, and it's varying years. I've got a whole bunch of these. We're not going to really. We can say how many we're going to play, but I'll decide whether we've stumped the bash or not. So,
okay. I don't even know what I need. But what's the year range? Do I get to know that?
Oh, anywhere from 1960 to 1990.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Anywhere from.
Well, I'm going to get killed on the later ones, and
that's if you even get any later ones. But here's how it's going to work. Here's the first track. You got to hear 10 seconds, and you tell me the name of the track for a point, the name of the artist, and what year it was #1 during the week of July 4th. Here we go.
it's the stripper.
All right, that's 1 point.
And God, what is the name of the artist? Is the last name good enough, or do I have to supply both names?
I'll give it close if you're close. I'll give you the last name.
I think it's Rose.
I'll give you David Rose and his orchestra. That's 1 point.
So what year?
And what year was it number one during July 4th week? Yep.
That's a good question. I have it narrowed down to 2. I don't know if I want to say the first one that was in my head or the other choice. I'll go with the first one in my head, 1963.
You would not be correct. It was 1962.
Nah.
So you got 2 out of the 4 points on that one. So that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Well, the early ones are going to be tough also.
Yeah, I know.
But
All right.
at least I got 2 points.
You got 2 out of 4. Let's go with this one. 10-second clip. Here we go.
Excuse me while I kiss the sky. I remember I always thought he was singing "I'm in love with this guy," but no, it's "This Guy's in Love with You" by Herb Alpert, 1967.
That's 2 of the 4, and it is
68?
not. It is not 67. It is 68.
Wow, how did I screw that up? Okay.
Well, you got 2 out of 4 again. So, boy, if I'm rating this, I don't know, man.
I've got to get a year right. I will once we get into years I remember.
All right, here we go. This one should be pretty easy for you. 10-second clip, Stumpin' the Bash. What is this?
I don't remember.
Is this one? I can play the clip again if you need it.
No, I don't remember that intro. All right, play it again. Maybe it'll come.
All right, maybe it'll come to you. Ready?
Man, I don't remember that intro. So,
This one had you stumped, huh?
yeah.
This is from July 4th week of 1976.
All right.
Afternoon Delight by the Starland Vocal Band.
Yeah, I mean, if you had played the next 10 seconds, I'd have had it.
Right, but
I know that intro.
we're going with just the first 10 seconds. So,
Since I heard that song.
all right, let's see if you can redeem yourself here.
Yeah.
Check this one out. Here we go.
I've got a song, I ain't got no melody. I'm gonna sing it to my.
Yes, Will It Go Round in Circles, Billy Preston, 1973. Final answer.
Yes. Final answer. You got all 4 points there. Will it go round in circle? Billy Preston, circle.
Yeah.
Billy Preston, 1973. Good one. You redeemed yourself there.
I'm just pissed off at Afternoon Delight.
Not a delight for David.
No.
All right. You're on a roll. Check this one out. Let me know what you think.
I think it.
Tim misses a stripper.
Well, let's see if you get this one. I believe that's Ring My Bell.
That's 1 point.
I think it's Anita Ward who did that.
That's 2 points. Yes. What year?
Now I have to remember what year. Fuck. Again, it's one of 2. 78?
1979.
That was my other guess. God, I can't even do 50-50. A monkey could do it. Well, no.
That's all right. Well,
late 70s. I'm already an album rock.
At album rock
I knew who did
disadvantage.
that one, so
It's all right. It's fun, but it's our
points
Independence Day, July 4th, number ones throughout the years.
how many points do I have?
Well, right now you've got 2, 4, 6. You've got 10 out of a possible 4 times 5, 20. 10 out of 20.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope I can
50%.
get a few. Let's hope I can get a few 4-pointers again.
You're going to kill this one. Here we go. Ready?
Well, that would be Windy by the Association, 1967.
There you go. 4 points. Bam. Killed it. I knew you'd do that without a problem.
Of course, the writer of that song, Ruth Ann Friedman, has played IPOLA a few times.
There you go.
Nice, very nice lady. Really nice.
And we had Jules Alexander and Jim Yester on the show.
I forgot about that. How amazing was that? And it's all down to you. You got them.
But again, you and I both, we ask and people come on and it's great. And that's one of the wonderful shows we've had here on Material Issues. It's in the archives.
They were both really, really upbeat. I just love that.
Super people. So you can check it out. Material Issues, the archives. Let everybody know. Subscribe. That's what we'd like you to do over on YouTube. But you killed that again. That's 4 points. This one might trip you up a little bit.
It might trip me up a lot.
Concentrate. Here we go.
My friends all tell me go to him, run to him, say sweet lovely things to him and tell him.
I don't think it's going to trip me up at all. These were I believe there were 3 Marines, which is one of the reasons that she sings "My Buddies," because that's a Marine term for, or at least it was for people who were in your platoon. That's easier said than done.
Yep.
By the Essex, 1963.
1963, 4 points again. You are on a roll. You're killing it. Again, these aren't that difficult because they were #1 hits during
sometimes remembering the year. And again, the later, especially the later you get.
Yep.
If we start getting into the late 80s, I'm toast probably, but you never know.
All right, here we go. Let's keep the string of 4 pointers going. I think you got this one. This is your wheelhouse.
We almost had her daughter on Material.
Almost.
Yeah, that would be "It's Too Late" by Carole King from the great year 1971.
There you go. 4 points. Bam. You're on a roll. I told you were going to kill it. Piece of cake.
Well, if you do the years where I was listening, yeah.
I know. I just kind of scared you with the late 80s into the 90s.
Oh, you don't actually have those?
No, I was just playing with you.
I don't know how well I would. I don't know how. I mean, I think it would just be a matter of luck. Did I happen to hear the song or not?
I know. All right, here we go. We got like 3 in a row of 4 for 4. I think you got this one too. July 4th of this year, #1 on Billboard.
Yeah, at the end of each year, I would listen to WABC's Top 100. And I remember in 1974, the year in question, I predicted that song would finish number 16. It finished #1 for the year on WABC. And I wasn't unhappy, other than the fact that I was so far off. But I love Rock the Boat by Hughes Corporation.
And what year are we talking about?
I said that.
74. Yep, there you go. 1974, 4 points. Rock the Boat, Hughes Corporation, Independence Day Stump the Bash special. We're not really stumping him that hard, but we're having fun. These were songs that were #1 July 4th, Independence Week of various years. So it's kind of interesting to go back and see what was #1 on this holiday over these years.
Well, obviously the ones from the early 70s, I think are all great. So.
Yeah. All right, let's see if you can keep it going.
My favorite year yet, but we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. But here we go.
I already know what song that is. Because the first American Top 40 episode ever aired was July 5th, I believe, 1970. And I've heard. I actually, a friend of mine, Mark Wheelage, made me CDRs of that Top 40 broadcast.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah, it
kinda
really
cool.
is. I discovered "Go Back" by Krabby Appleton on that one.
Oh yeah, nice.
I'd never
Yeah.
heard it before, and once that first, you have the guitar riff coming in, and then you
Mhm.
hear that combination of notes with a one. I was hooked at that moment. I'd never heard a note like that in my life.
There's just such a sound to those early 70s
It really
singles. You know, I always talk when I talk to people, and I'll bring this up after we're done with the trivia stuff. But I talk to people, younger generation people of early 60s Technicolor movies,
Uh-huh.
because the visual of movies changed in the early 60s when they used Technicolor.
Did it
You
ever.
know,
Yeah.
it was like Kodachrome pictures. It was incredible. So I'm mentioning all these Technicolor movies. Of course, the younger generation looks at me and goes, I have no idea what you're talking about, you know. And but there was a difference, just like the difference in sound in the early 70s, the difference in the movie visuals of early 60s was incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Agreed.
All right, let's go to the next one. See if we can keep all this string on. I think these string of fours are not in any danger with this one. Here we go.
Actually, it is in danger. I'm not sure what song it is.
Ooh,
Um,
I thought you'd get it.
well, try it
Okay,
once
here-
more.
Yep, here we go. Ready?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm sure I'll
Hmm.
kick myself, but I don't know.
Well, that would be number one during the week of July 4th, 1977,
Well,
with Undercover Angel by
shit.
Alan
Again,
Oates.
if you had played a different part of that song, I'd have had it. But the intro, I totally
Intro-
forgot. That's on me. I should have known that one.
Yeah.
I'm not too upset about the other one that I missed. I don't remember anymore. The one from '78, I guess.
You missed Afternoon Delight, Starline
Afternoon
Vocal
Delight.
Band, 76. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but Undercover Angel, I should have had. I was a counselor in summer camp when that was a hit.
Perfect.
I hated
Counselor in summer
I hated
camp.
that job. Oh my god! I had the 11 to 13-year-old kids who were just old enough to know what they could get away with. If you have the younger kids, they're generally going to behave. I mean, the worst that might happen, which is not fun, is if one kid like picks on another one or knocks them down, and you have to calm them. But these kids who were 11 to 13, they knew exactly what they could get. They knew you weren't going to hit them. And this is 1977, okay? When kids still got hit by their parents. It was a different time, not condoning any of it, but the younger kids in 1977 might have had some fear that, like their parents, they might get spanked or worse by the counselor if they misbehaved. But 11 to 13-year-old kids, they knew you weren't going to hit them. So they knew they could mess you up. They could do all kinds of stuff. And
Man, I loved summer camp.
If you weren't a mature man, which I was not, I was 18 and probably more like a 15-year-old than an 18-year-old even. I did not have fun with those kids.
I'll tell you what, looking back on that, I went to summer camp, I think 3 years in a row. I'm going to say I was maybe 13, 14, 15, that 3 years. And it was through the church. So they called it a church camp. That's what they called it. A camp ministerium. I mean, you went away out into like the wilderness, so they had cabins, but it was, people your age, girls, boys, and it was coming of age.
I'm sure it was.
Time of, I can remember just the feelings of, you're just coming into puberty, you're just getting really interested in girls, and you're out at a summer camp. And you're just intermixed out in the middle of the woods and camping and sleeping in in sleeping bags and doing everything, and it was a great time. And even though they called it a church camp, you weren't preached to at all. It was just a fun week of just total debauchery. And I'll never.
It was just 1 week.
It was just a week. Yeah, you just went for a week. Yeah, and I'll never forget one of the early times we'd have these little seminars that they would talk about of life things, and I'll never forget the nurse. There was a nurse sitting on stage, talking about the dangers of smoking, as she was smoking.
Oh, that's insane!
It's insane. I'll never forget that. She was talking about how it's bad for your lungs, stunts your growth, your teeth, and everything. And she was smoking the whole time she was talking about it.
Did anybody point that out?
No, I don't think anybody cared.
They probably just laughed at the whole thing.
They were all laughing. I mean, the counselors were probably all, 18 to 24. There was just as many men as women counselors.
They didn't give a shit what you did.
The women counselors were pure early 70s, braless tank top.
Yeah,
really, as I remember it in my youth,
I'm sure you're
just
right.
Really attractive and free and earthy, and just it was just a wonderful time.
Well, they were supposed to be watching to make sure kids weren't having sex.
Yes,
they probably didn't watch too hard.
And they were, because they were too busy doing it themselves somewhere, But here's the funny thing is the first year I went, when I was maybe 13, it was 13 or 14 the first year, I still remember a girl's name that I had a crush on.
Sure.
From that camp. She wasn't part of my town. She came from some other town somewhere. Gretchen Swank. If you're out there, Gretchen, and you happen to see this, please drop me a message, because
Facebook.
What's that? No, yeah, I haven't.
Really?
Couldn't find her name anywhere. Yeah.
Oh, you have, and you didn't find.
I tried, but don't. But I could still see her face. Wow.
I had just an aside. In 1970, my family went up to the Catskills, where all the Jewish families went.
Yep.
We went to the Browns Hotel, and there was a girl named Roberta who I had an amazing crush on. But I was way too shy to talk to her, and it turned out she liked me too. Apparently, she told my dad, "You have a very handsome son," but she waited for me to make the first move, and I wouldn't, because I was so shy. Even though I suspected that maybe she liked me, I looked her. I knew where she was from. She was from Long Island. I actually looked her name up in a Long Island phone book. This was after the fact, and I got her address. And about 6 years later, I wrote her a letter confessing everything. Whether or not she ever saw it, and even if she did, she probably thought I was a maniac. I never did hear from her. I'm pretty sure I put my phone number in the letter, but no response.
Yeah.
She may not have even lived there. Anyway, I looked her up on Facebook, and she is there.
But that's something.
I'm not gonna.
You got to update us in like 2 weeks.
I'm not going to contact her. She'll think I'm absolutely bonkers. But she was my first really heavy. I was like, how old was I? I just turned 12, actually. I think maybe that week or the week before. No, probably the week before. And I was smitten by her.
It's
but I couldn't. I just couldn't pull the trigger.
The funny thing about it, I remember when I was in 6th grade, because of where I lived in town, we had a movie theater 1 block away. I told you it was
expecting this, folks, were you?
No. This is there was a movie theater 1 block away. It was $1 to get in. It was like 25 cents for popcorn, 25 cents for candy, 25 cents for a soda. So for $2, you had an entire evening. It was great. But I did have a couple dates in 6th grade. I had a couple girls that I asked. Well, I asked to go to the movies, and what that meant was I walked 1 block, and their parents dropped them off there. You went to the movies. You pretty much sat there in silence, each with your popcorn and soda, and then you left. That was a date at the time,
Were the parents there too?
No, the parents weren't there because they lived in town. The town's it's a small, wonderful.
You weren't old enough yet. If you were 8th or 9th grade, the dad of the girl would have been there.
But they were right there waiting outside the theater when the movie let out. So it's not like, so they dropped you off there and you came out and they were there. But those were all girls that I grew up with in grade school. So you knew them. But going away to camp and seeing this girl, Gretchen, who you didn't really know, And already in camp by day one, she was already electric, and everybody wanted to be around this girl. And I had no nerve. I had no nerve. I wanted so badly to just talk, and I couldn't do it. I was
see what you women / girls at the time did to us. I don't know.
See?
I don't know if you realize how hard it was for most guys to approach you.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you never knew. You never knew how we felt. And
how many
vice versa. Obviously, in many ways, worse for girls, because back then, if you were a girl, you did not approach a boy.
Yeah. No.
Then now of course it's encouraged, but back then, no. So you had to drop hints, and you had to hope the boy got them. And I did get them from this girl Roberta. I kind of knew, but still, like, what if I'm wrong? What if I say, Roberta, I really like you. Let's stay.
I'll never live this down.
She starts laughing at me. I would have been devastated. So
a younger generation today will never know the anxiety of getting a girl's phone number from maybe another friend of the friend, and having your rotary phone.
That's right.
And you'd go, but by the time you got to the fourth or fifth number, which was going, you lost your nerve and you hung up.
You
right?
You hit the. What did they call those things?
I don't know what they call those little.
They had a name.
Did they have a name?
Yeah, and not clickers. They had some name actually.
Rotary phone, like dampers or whatever you call those things. But anyhow, because it took the time it took for that darn rotary phone to go, that's when I always lost my nerve. If it was like hit the button like a cell phone and is dialing right away, I probably would have had better success. But that delay in the rotary phone.
What if it was just a push button phone? I mean, even there, it's not quick enough. Yeah, if you had speed, today's kids, if they have a number, they're going to put it on. Well, they won't even have to. It'll be somebody will put the number. The girl will put the number in your phone, or a boy to a girl.
Yeah,
just put the number in the phone, and then you just hit call. So.
And how many people out there remember the days in the 70s where you would listen to your favorite radio station, they would say caller number 7 wins and you'd do the whole rotary thing, which took like 25 seconds for your rotary phone to go, and you'd hear your caller number 4. And there's no way that you could hang up and redial that with the rotary phone fast enough to be number 7. You couldn't do it.
Most people usually would dial the first 6 numbers. You didn't have to use area codes back then.
Right.
You dial the first 6 numbers, and then as soon as they said go, you'd hit the 7th one, and you'd hope that would time it exactly right. And
how many? I mean, I literally 100 times you'd do that, and you get your caller number 2, and you're like, crap. And and then you had a chance. If you were caller number 2 and they were looking for 7 or 8, you had a chance. You could redial that, but
I think in the push button age, you probably had a better chance because it would be a little bit quicker.
Yeah, I know. I think I only ever won one album, and that was a Ringo Starr album. Which one was it?
Was it Ringo or Goodnight Vienna? Or
I think it was probably Goodnight Vienna. Now that I'm remembering.
Wow!
But I did win that.
You never won a damn thing.
I won one time, but it wasn't for the lack of trying a million times.
No, you always had to. Yeah.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, I know. I'd say everyone who's listening probably is old enough to remember this stuff. If you want to leave, if you have comments if you have similar reminiscences about having a crush on someone or trying to, of calling them or calling to win a record or whatever, or tickets to some show, you had to be caller number whatever. Let us know. We love this stuff.
It was really great, and I remember when I got through, they were just so, because you got the DJ, you got the DJ when you talked. It wasn't some assistant.
Yeah,
and it was like WZZO. That's the radio station out of Allentown. WZZO. You're caller number 9. Congratulations. Hold on 1 second. Then you'd wait a little bit, and they come back. All right, give me your name and that, and give me your name and number, and then where you're from, and then I tell you your name and. Then you'd hang up quick and you go listen to the radio. They'd be like, yeah, caller number 9, because they had recorded it, and then you listen to yourself back on. It was just the coolest thing.
I remember listening to people winning, and the DJ would say, hello, your caller number, congratulations or whatever. And then sometimes people had a choice, so they would say which record they want. I remember W99X, I think it was WXLO in New York. They would, if you were the right number caller, you could pick any album you wanted.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, at that point, nobody was going to pick an. I think I'll pick the first Nas album. Find that, sucker. No, it was nobody was like that. It was always some current release that they probably didn't have the money for, but now they could get it for free. They want it.
Man, that's awesome. We should give away vinyl albums here on this show with caller number.
Can you imagine?
Message number.
We'd have to get an old phone. I mean, how in the world could you set that up?
I don't know, but it would be fun. It would be fun to.
Well, we could do it over the internet, or not necessarily caller number, but check in. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's probably easy enough to figure out.
That's just great memories, man. But that rotary phone drove me crazy because especially the number was like 790, because those sevens, the nines, and the zeros, it was just like brrr. Give me a one, chica. But not a.
Why aren't you saying anything? I want to hear. Are you too embarrassed to be nuts to even care about this stuff anymore? Because we do.
Crazy.
We think it's great if you have reminiscences like that. But
absolutely,
almost everybody did. I mean, having the nerve to call someone. Sometimes it was even like a friend. If you were trying to make friends with somebody, you didn't. Well, I mean, if you were a boy, you didn't want to come off as gay. Especially in high school, so you were a little bit worried. What if I call this guy to go? Let's go do something. Whatever. He thinks I'm after him. There was always that worry.
No.
To even make a same-sex friend. I don't think girls probably didn't have that issue, because socially it was very acceptable to call another girl to do a friend thing with. But if you were a boy, you had to be careful. Like, what if they?
I'll tell you what talk about things I really miss. I was talking to somebody up here the other day, someone walking Ches, and I said, in the 70s, I always enjoyed grabbing a stack of records that I had recently purchased and going to 2 or 3 of my friends' house, probably 2 really good friends. And we would spend, just because they did the same thing. They had 3 or 4 new albums, sure. And we would spend 4 hours just sitting there listening to the new purchases.
Definitely, I did that.
I remember one of my really good friends, Dave Boyer, if you happen to ever watch, he lived with his dad in a trailer park, in a small trailer. So I mean, if you live in a trailer, it's it's very small.
Sure.
It's like an Airstream, and he had a tiny little bedroom in the back, and you basically had a bed, and he had a dresser, and that's about all you could fit in. But on his dresser, he had one of those all-in-one stereos that had the turntable, 8-track cassette, AM, FM.
Had 8-track and cassette?
It had everything.
Like that.
It had everything. And I remember going up, because he was a big Beatles fan. He was a big Klaatu fan, ELO, all that kind of stuff. And I remember we'd spend 4 hours up in his little room, just sitting there in the bed, looking at the vinyl and playing this stuff right in our faces. And it was just the best, absolute best time.
Yeah, I agree.
Just the best time. We do have one comment that came in. Tim Allen, here we go. Tim says, girls used to point at me and giggle. So
Tim, let me just tell you something. You and me both. You and me both, pal. And I didn't even date in college. That's how late I was to the table. I had really bad acne even into college, and so I had no physical self-confidence whatsoever. So it wasn't until I didn't really date until my late 20s. And I'll full disclosure, I was a 30-year-old virgin.
Wow.
I didn't lose it till I was 30. Yeah.
You had a lot of pent-up emotion.
In my best bravado voice, I said, well, I never had any complaints since. No, a lot of pent up emotion, and kind of trying to learn things by watching certain kinds of movies.
And it never worked out that way, like the movies.
Well, no, it didn't work out with the movies, but I have to say I did learn a few moves that
Sure.
apparently other guys didn't have. So
Yeah.
I was late, but I made up for some lost time.
Hey, real quick, while I'm thinking about it, because it just popped it up. I don't know if you saw this, but two more stills from the sunrise sunset were posted up. I think you saw it, but that's one of the stills right there from the movie.
Okay.
That's me looking very Clint Eastwood like, I think. But and then there's the other still.
I think
Very,
there were
very
what was
moody.
the name of the movie? There was a movie with a bunch of like Matthew Modine and I'm trying to remember who else. And another.
That's
actor.
Jiminy Glick's sons, Matthew and Modine.
No, who was the other actor? I can't remember, but one of the actors was Randy Quaid, and he looked.
Oh, yeah.
He looked a lot like you do now, actually.
I get Randy Quaid all the time. I used to, you know.
You used to, yeah.
Yeah, and I can see it, definitely see it.
Oh yeah,
but,
for sure.
But that's cool. Anyhow, we get off on our tangents here, and
Are we finished with Stump the Bash, or do we have more?
we're gonna do a couple more here just for fun. So
I don't even know if I won, but but let's.
yeah. I'm
let's-
gonna say we have not stumped you. I mean,
I don't
on the
think so.
majority of these
There are
now.
a couple
So
of them that I should have had, but wrong part
but-
of the song.
I think you'll know this one right off the bat. Here we go.
Okay. Well, see, the first American Top 40 was, I guess, the week after, because on that one, "The Love You Save" by the Jackson 5, 1970, was number 2, and "Mama Told Me Not to Come" was number 1. So I guess that was the July. They must have played on July 5th. They must have used the week following.
The week of, yeah.
So
But
July, it was, yeah. So anyway, yeah, "The Love You Save," Jackson 5, 1970.
4 points, piece of cake. Yeah, that one right. That one I do.
And Michael Jackson used to lure boys with a piece of cake, I believe. Oh no, he's not guilty. I forgot.
That's right. That's
Actually,
right.
I have a I don't know if I could call her a friend, but an acquaintance who is doing a documentary where she feels she has enough evidence to show that Michael Jackson was not guilty. So more power to her. I don't believe that for a damn second. And OJ wasn't guilty either, right?
Yeah, right. Don't believe it at all. But makes
Harvey Weinstein didn't molest any women either.
That's right. None of it happened, but makes for good television. What did I watch? The Tuskegee Airmen. There's a nice new documentary out.
Oh, really? Okay.
About one of the planes that they found in Lake Huron and how it got in one of the Great Lakes. Yeah,
okay.
It's very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Let's
Tuskegee is that Booker T. Washington went to Tuskegee Institute.
Tuskegee Institute, yeah. But
Anyway.
those airmen, they were some of the best. But let's see if you get this one. We'll do at least one more. We'll do one until you get one here. But July 4th, number 1 in this year. What is this one?
No. All right. It did take a little while. I'm going to go with "Quarter to Three" by not Barry U.S. Bonds, but Gary U.S. Bonds.
That's what year?
That's the question. It's one of two. I'm going to go with 1961.
Excellent. 4 points. You nailed that
Finally,
one.
I was either 60 or 61. I was like, finally, I pick one at random and get it.
You went.
Yeah,
you went.
I actually wasn't sure what it was until the last second and a half.
All right. Well, that's pretty. Let's end up with one more.
Frank Gita Productions, where everything's mud except the clapping. No, the clapping is clear as day, but the rest
And then everything comes in, and it's like I can't hear it.
the rest of the song is all mud. But it worked with the Gary U.S. Bond songs. It worked with "If You Want to Be Happy" by Jimmy Soul. There was another one of his productions. They all went to the top 10, if not number 1, with that production value. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, we're gonna do one final one here. I'm just looking at my little notes here to figure out where I'm at. Let's see if you can finish up strong on this one. July 4th of this year was number 1 on Billboard. What is this one? One note, you got it.
I knew that after one note. Well, I
One
knew
note.
a few of them. This is a man whose daughter played IPO once. I don't know if I ever told you that.
No, I did not.
Her name is Corey Withers. I found her. At one time, we were using a platform called Sonic Bids, where people could apply to festivals online using this platform where you could hear their music and had their contact info and everything. And she applied to IPOLA, and I heard her music, and I really liked it. And I invited her to play, and she said yes. And it was like 30 minutes later where I said, wait a minute, Withers? Hold on. And then I contacted, would your dad happen to be Bill Withers? And she said, yes, he would. I said, I really had no idea. So now you know I didn't book you because of him. But, man,
Yeah.
is there any way I could meet him? And she said, well, he'll probably come to my show. He did.
Wow.
He did.
No.
Unfortunately, and now he's gone.
Yeah.
Which is really unfortunate. But he had a very unique style for an African American. It was it was very acoustic, which you didn't hear from most African Americans.
Right.
It was very down home. He was from somewhere in, I think, in Virginia, in a very rural part of Virginia. He moved out to LA, got a job with, was it Lockheed, I guess. Making airplane parts.
Yeah, Lockheed. Yeah.
And and while he was doing that, he was trying to get himself discovered, and he finally did, and had the huge hits. But yeah, Corey, the apple didn't fall far from the tree. She was really talented.
And it takes us. Go ahead.
I said I should find out what she's up to. This was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I know what she's up to now, because
takes us full circle, because back in my Camp Ministerium days, Lean On Me was always around the campfire song that one of the counselors would whip out their acoustic guitar, and it was always, Lean On Me.
Yeah. Well, I didn't answer the question. Lean On Me, Bill Withers, 1972.
4 points. Finishing up the Independence Day Stump the Bash. We did not stump the bash. We weren't really trying to tonight. We were just having a good time with the Independence Day. Yeah.
I did screw up some of the post 75s.
He'll never forget Afternoon Delight with the Starland Vocal Band.
I know both those songs, but I just forgot the intros. Had you played the next 10 seconds, I would have had them both. But you didn't. That's not the rules. I blew it.
It's good.
I'm gonna hear from my brother Joel. He's gonna say, "Yeah, I got the early '70s ones too." And I got. How did you not get Undercover Angel or Afternoon Delight?
But ladies and gentlemen, here we have our July 3rd pre-Independence Day show. It was just David and I, but somehow we've managed to blow through 2 hours.
Well, we always do,
and have a good time with it. So,
you and I could talk forever, which is.
I hope
this show works.
I hope people had a really good time. Oh, Tim Allen said he started out strong, but only wound up with 32 points.
How many did I have? I don't even know.
Okay, let's. I'll recap. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 tracks. 4 points per track is a maximum of 52 possible points, and you got 4, 8, 12, 16, 18, 22, 24, 28, 30, 34. You got 38 of the 52.
Okay. All right. That's okay.
I think you beat 50%, so you're not stumped.
I'm happy.
And actually, Tim,
I'm happy you did well. I'm happy that I got some of the earlier ones, because obviously I didn't hear them at the time.
Yeah. So, Tim, you're 32 points. You're only 6 points behind the master here. So, and that's over 50% of what we played. So that's not bad at all. Let's hear it for Tim.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
but hey, another great show.
From John Borak saying, "I got 45."
He just texted me. He got 54 of the possible 52.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sure he did. Anyway, this is going to be the last show that Mark and I do exclusively for a while because we've got guests coming up, lots of them. Next week, July 10th, I mentioned this. Well, I've mentioned most of these before. We've got Steve Coulter, or Steve W. Loudon in this particular case, author, drummer extraordinaire from Czar and the Brother Steve. This is a record that he's put out called Generation Blue. Well, actually, it's on Big Stir and Spider Pop. It's a representation of the LA pop scene from the mid-'90s. A lot of Weezer influenced bands on here. Some that played IPO. Many played Poptopia, the festival before us. So you got Baby Lemonade, Cockeyed Ghost, Rydell High, which Steve was in, Ozma, which Daniel Bramell was in. He has a new band called the Sanglorians who've been playing IPO. You see his production. That's exactly right. So he's got that, and also the book of the Saint, which I have here as well, Generation Blue: An Oral History of the Hollywood Geek Rock Scene in the 1990s and 2000s. I wrote a little blurb in here, and a lot of interviews with the people who were part of that scene. So pretty cool stuff. Steve will be talking about that and the other books that he's written, and probably a little bit about his career as a musician. So we've got that on the 10th. On the 17th, and I thought I had the album here, and I see that I don't, but maybe you do.
I have it in the other room. I don't have it right next to me.
Let me see where it might be. Oh, I found it. Okay. About 25 or so years ago, this gentleman released an album called Pop Job, which was definitely in the top 10 on many a list. But since then, he hadn't recorded anything until now. And he's got this new album called Top of the World, which was not a song that was number one on 4th of July. It was more like number one on January something, 1974. But anyhow, this is Mark Bassino, New York artist, pop artist extraordinaire. This new album is excellent, very Nilsson-esque. Yeah. And that's a good segue for me to say that next week on July 9th, I will be emceeing a tribute show to Harry Nilsson with a lot of LA musicians doing their versions of his songs.
Oh, nice.
I did that last year. It was a lot of fun. I came up with trivia about him, about the songs. I'll have to do that again this year. But I had a really good time. Anyway, this album's excellent. It's on the resurrected Parasol Records label.
Yep.
Very cool. In the 90s, they were the shit. That's for sure. And now they're coming back with this one and hopefully many others. Is Michael Roos still running it? Do you know?
I don't know. It's a good question. I'm going to say maybe not, but
I'll have to check in with him. I haven't spoken with him for a long time.
Let me see if I can pull up if there's any information. I don't see anything. Talks about Jeff Merritt.
Oh, okay. I remember he was part of Parasol. It was probably the two of them.
Yeah, I don't see any updated information. So I don't know. Maybe Jeff Merritt.
Maybe
still.
I'll check. I'll find out. But the first show we ever did in IPO Chicago was a Parasol Records night that Michael Rue helped me put together, and Adam Schmidt led off the night, and I think Kevin Tahista finished the night. And I don't remember the rest of the people in between. I'm sure if I looked at the list, but having Adam Schmidt be the first person to ever play IPO Chicago is pretty cool. So anyway, Parasol was a very, very cool label. So they've released Mark Bassino's new album, Top of the World. We'll have him on to talk about that and Pop Job and the other stuff that he's done in his life. So that'll be on the 17th.
That'll be fun.
On the 24th, we will have the main man of a band who got to live a dream, no doubt about it. The Aravants were a bunch of young kids from St. Louis, late teens. they were invited to come to Abbey Road to record, and indeed they did. And they had a single come out on Parlophone back at that then, 1969, called "World of You," which made the top 50. And
Wow.
they also recorded a whole bunch of other tracks, but they didn't get an album deal. So the tracks had languished for a while. Then in the late 90s, cassettes of the album started circulating. I remember on the oddities list, everyone wanted to hear it. And then a bootleg of the album came out as well in the late 90s. But finally in 03, the Cherry Red subsidiary, I'm forgetting their name right now, the one that Joe Foster ran. Why am I forgetting? Anyway, I'm having I'm blanking, but they released this
Revola.
Revola. Thank
Yeah.
you. Revola released Resurrection on CD, but it never officially came out on vinyl until this year. Euclid Records, a label out of St. Louis, also a record store, they put this out. Beautiful, very beautiful reissue of this album. I call it a reissue, even though it's the first vinyl. Really excellent album, very Beatle-esque, as you might imagine.
How's the audio quality for that album?
I haven't played it yet.
Okay, that'd be interesting to know. Yeah.
I've heard good things. That's all I can tell you. Anyway,
Okay.
The main man, Tom Hartman, who is still overseeing all this stuff, he will be our guest on the 24th.
Nice. It's gonna be fun.
On the 31st, and we just got him today. I need to do more research on this guy. I know him for. Let me see if I can grab this quickly. It's like a labyrinth in this room right now. Let me.
One can only imagine. One of these days, we need a tour of all your.
Well, I just have a whole bunch of CDs on the floor right now.
Because like most people are looking at the wall behind you, and they're like, "Wow, David just collects box sets."
No, really.
They don't see everything else.
Well, if there's a way to do a tour, we will. But anyway,
Yeah.
Stephen Gaines, our guest on the 31st, wrote this tell-all book about the Beach Boys called Heroes and Villains. He calls it the true story of the Beach Boys. Many of us who read this book were and are very skeptical about how much truth value there is to a lot of this stuff. But David Leaf, Beach Boys historian, expert, good friend of most of the band, who we had on, says he believes that most, if not all, of this is true.
There you go.
But there's some outlandish things in here, things about the Beach Boys that you never would have expected. I mean, now a lot of it has come out, but for a while it was like, really? Brian did this, or Mike did. I mean, back then people didn't know much about Mike Love. Who knew that he was in a straitjacket for a bit? Because he went ballistic after a psychiatrist session that he had in 1970, and just started chasing people down the street in his car, and it was a whole big mess. But there are a lot of things that are revelatory in this book. Most of it not too flattering. I'll say that. But hey, if it's true, it's true. And it was just another side to the Beach Boys that we learned.
Yeah.
Like I said, a lot of bad things. There's a time when Brian Wilson goes to a new site after Eugene Landy didn't work out. He goes to a new psychiatrist called Murray Gans. Not Murray Gans. I forgot his first name, but Dr. Gans anyway. Apparently the guy reminded him of Murray. He looked like him and he was smoking a pipe, and Brian yelled out, "You Jew motherfucker." Now, I mean, I should be insulted by that, but it's Brian Wilson and he was fucked up. Wasn't really responsible for what he was saying, but that's not the kind of thing you want to hear about one of your heroes.
Yeah, right.
The title is very apropos: Heroes and Villains. There are both in this book. It's really a great read. John Borak and I quote from it all the time.
Nice.
In our everyday life. He's written a bunch of other things as well. I need to do more research on him, but I definitely will. I wanted him on the show because of this book.
Yeah, of course.
A lot of things I want to ask him about regarding the book, but he's written a lot of other things as well, and so we'll find out about that. I'm sure he was actually on Howard Stern. I remember back in the day.
Oh, wow.
I did not, living in California, we did not hear Howard Stern in the 80s. But Grossberg, my frenemy, sent me, he was a huge Howard Stern fan, and he knew about this book. So he sent me, he recorded his appearance on, Gaines's appearance on Howard Stern. It was hilarious. Let's put it that way. But not just because of the book, but other things that happened. I still have the tape. But one guy called in and said, "Hey, Howard, why are you so ugly?" And
Yeah, of course.
had to go through that. Yeah, it was ridiculous. At any rate,
Yeah, that's gonna be great. Yeah,
I'm sure he's going to be a great guest. He was a great interview back then with Howard, so I'm sure he'll be a great guest now.
yeah. So that's the next 4 weeks.
That'll be the 31st of July. So we've got
book
July.
solid.
We've got the 10th, the 17th, the 24th, and the 31st all spoken for.
And we've already got an iron in the fire today. We talked about it, which will happen in probably in August, because that we have the so we've got at least one date in August pretty much booked. So thanks, Tim. We appreciate it. Thank you,
Tim. We always appreciate you listening and complimenting. We try.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. That's great. So we do have a bunch of irons in the fire, so you never know, and that's why we say subscribe over on YouTube and hang out at David's Facebook page, my Facebook page. We send out one little notice saying what's coming up in probably a day in advance, so we don't spam you. There's no harm in subscribing, passing it around to all your friends. Materialissues.com. I'm going to run that banner right across the bottom so people don't forget.
Unlike a certain person who has many, many followers, we have nice smiles and we're not boring. We'll let you decide who we're talking about right now.
It's all good. But hey, we appreciate everybody. Come back next week when our guest will be Steve Loudon. Materialissues.com, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. If you're overseas, who knows what time it is, but it's late. We appreciate you hanging out with us. But the archives are all there. This is the 161st episode. So there's 161 episodes you can check out after tonight's show ends.
Episode, yes.
Yeah, and I've been posting some links to some actual episodes. I want to keep doing that here in the near future so people can be familiar with some of the great guests that we've had in the past. And I keep bringing it up and poking you a little bit so you watch the shows. They're great shows.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thanks to everyone who hung out with us, and hope you enjoyed it. And have a great 4th of July weekend, everyone.
Woo! Be safe.
Stay safe. Hopefully, you're going away and
have all your fingers intact on July 5th. It's all good. David, always great to hang out with you. Loved Arena.
Loved it, Chaz. See you soon.